know. I haven't really visited with him about what went through on what happened during the season because, I did notice that he did beat Jackson State convincingly and they won it all. So I think when things like that happen and there's no major injuries, it's internal. It's internal. And and it's sad that it had to happen during, throughout your season where you got to try to, gut out whatever, is hurting you. But I think that personally, when you watch a team of that talent and that caliber, to decline like that throughout the year, that's internal. And he had to, weed out whatever was holding him back.
Well, yeah.
Hey, Coach, along that, I just kind of want to transition into this since we are talking about the SWAC. Coach Morgan, would you be open to playing one or two SWAC schools?
Any one of them. Any one of them. If the money right, we can fight like a boxer say.
You mean you'll go all the way down to the highs to Seven Hills and play?
If the money right, we can fight.
Now, look, Coach, I'm going to say this. Now, you said the Celebration Bowl. There's only been 3 SWAC teams that have won the Celebration Bowl. So I'm going to tell you, go to those other 9 teams and help them out, okay? Because FAMU, Jack State, and Grambling have already won it. So you go to one of them other teams and help them win it. That's what it is.
It's not about, listen, I'm not one of them coaches that want to take over a dynasty that's already winning. All right? I'm not one of them. No. I'll take the last one that everyone least expect and then turn that into something.
Now, Coach, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me, now, Coach, now listen. Be careful what you ask for because Mississippi Valley's AD might be calling you on line 1 now, Coach. Wait a minute, be careful.
I'm just confident in myself. I know what I can do. If I got just as many scholarships as them, I'm not. No. Ball field even. Mississippi. If it would be Mississippi Valley, that's right by. Come on now, that's bordering states. That you realize what I would bring to the SWAC. I'm bringing the Midwest too.
Valley. Hey, listen.
I'm not just talking about Southwest athletes. I'm talking about the whole Midwest too now. I'm going to be able to touch Southwest, Midwest, and West. So my recruiting base is going to be a little different than just recruiting in the state of one prominent state. Like, I'm going to be able to bring kids from everywhere.
Hey, Coach, you do know if you go to Mississippi Valley, Jerry Rice ain't walking through that door. Willie Totten ain't walking through that door, Coach. That's valid.
You develop. I didn't have that walking through my doors here.
Willie Totten was a punter. He came there to punt.
Yeah, Coach. It's just like Coach Cole say. That when you take you turn them into a star.
That's right. Now they discovered Willie Totten. He used to be on the other end punting, right? And then he used to throw the ball, and act like it's a punt. And that's how they discovered Willie Totten. That's true story.
The greats, though.
Yeah, he's greatest.
Hey, he could spin that thing, Coach.
Yes, sir. He threw the best fade route I ever seen in my life, Coach.
Coach, they say it looked like he was throwing it and he was handing it to him.
People talk about Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice was good, Coach, but Willie Totten was better. He just, the numbers they put up was unbelievable. But Coach has been there. Coach, man, we coming to the end. We don't want to keep you all night. Boy, you're looking good in that suit. And Coach, guess what, guy? What y'all don't notice, Bishop and Rocky? What y'all notice about Coach? Coach got his school colors on. He got his school colors on.
He's confident. He's dressed nice, Coach. Your kind of guy, Coach. Coach.
He got his school colors on,
Coach. And it looked like he can go play right now, Coach.
I still got a couple of downs in me.
And listen, let me tell you something, Rocky and Coach. Now, listen, he's a young brother. See, he ain't no old head. See,
that's right.
Listen, Coach. We try to tell the young brothers. See how you represent for the young brothers? We keep trying. There's a standard is the standard. No matter what the age is, the standard is the standard. Because
Preach,
when
Campbell.
you dress, that means you can go from the streets to the suites and go recruit anybody, any place, anytime.
You're
So
preaching.
I just respect the fact that you understand what the mission is, because, you know, we had guys, you know, having some of these press conferences, man, look like they were just coming from the barbershop and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Man.
And things like that. And like I try to tell people, it's the old heads that's got the money.
They, they haven't encountered the great Patrick Simon. When you've been, you know, it's a learning process. You know, like I say, I was human too. You know, it was things I thought was wasn't really in, and it took someone to teach me. You know, and I got the opportunity to, you know, to see things the right way. Like Coach Cole, for example, the way his sideline decorum was. You got to take the good with the good, leave the bad with the bad. Pops, that was one of the things that Pops. When I say Pops, I'm referring to Patrick Simon. He stayed on us about. You know, every day is an interview, man. Especially with people that look like us. Every day's an interview.
That's what I'm talking about, Coach. That's what we learn in the HBCU, Coach. We don't feel like we there yet. And what's happening is we bringing some folks in there, man, that don't represent us in the right way. You know what I mean? I can say that. They don't represent us in the right way. That ain't what was passed on. I know they trying to forget the past, but you can't forget the past because you think the future is just where you started, and that ain't where you started at. And it definitely ain't how you got there. So that's my thing. Coach, man, it's been a pleasure of you coming on, and man, you like we talked with Sean Gibbs, Coach. I don't know if you ever seen that interview. You know, we kind of presented him to HBCUs, and he had been on a couple championship teams. Here you are, been a head coach for 8 years at Langston. You've beaten all the PWIs in your conference. You've won your conference, and you sitting over there, and nobody really knows. And I think tonight, and Coach Campbell, he'll make sure this happens, that we're introducing you to another space in the HBCU realm. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate you.
Coach, before you go, let everybody know your because you know we're in the social media world. Let them know where you at on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Where you at, Coach?
I'm on all platforms. You know, you can definitely just look me up. Just Coach Morgan, Coach Q, be Coach Q, on all platforms. I'm on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, you know, Instagram. That's one of the things I'm definitely getting better at, getting more savvy at is my of course social media, man. I'm getting my I guess you could say my followers up.
Hey, Coach, I got one last question. If it's a recruit out there or a coach and they need to get some film or something like that to you to evaluate, where can we send it, Coach?
You can send it to Quinton.Morgan@langston.edu, and that's QUINTON .Morgan MORGAN @Langston LANGSTON.edu. You can send it directly to me.
QUIN Quinn. That's QUINTON.
I'm gonna drop it in the chat. I got it. I'm gonna drop it in the chat right now.
All right, got you.
Coach, we got you covered, Coach.
Did you guys catch everything?
Yeah, I just dropped it in the chat, Coach.
Okay.
Appreciate you, Coach. Good luck.
No, it has been nothing but a pleasure. I thank you guys, man. And Coach, again, thank you, Coach Cole, man. It has always been a pleasure to get the opportunity to visit with you, and you two gentlemen. Thank y'all again, and you guys keep doing what you're doing, man. Coaches out like myself that need this type of platform to be able to be seen. You know, when we're unseen, when people have blinders on.
Absolutely, Coach. Because there's one thing the HBCU need right now, Coach, is quality coaches, no doubt.
I got a prediction, but I'm gonna wait till next fall, and we'll bring you back on like we do all the other coaches, and you talk about you going in the season. But I got a prediction, guys. I got a prediction where he's gonna go the next time. All right, Coach.
Yeah, Coach.
Keep working.
Coach be quick to fire somebody, Coach. So you better watch. Coach get mad at us, and he be the one that calls the ball.
It's about winning.
That's it.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh man,
Man, that was
man.
awesome, guys, man. That was awesome.
Good young brother. Good young brother. See, you make sure you tell him, Cam. I'm finding them all high and low, coach. You
Listen,
know, I
man.
understand stuff got to move on, but see, we don't left this kid, but what I should say, kid. We don't left this coach 8 years as a head coach in HBCU, 8 successful years, coach.
Well, see, coach, that's the
And
reason
he's
why we
beat the
got that,
white boys.
coach. That's
And
the
he beat the
reason why,
PWIs.
because that's why we got to have the old head, new head summit. Because see, we got to let the new heads know who the new head. They don't even know who their new heads are. See, that's the problem, coach. The new heads don't even know the new heads.
They don't know who to root for, do they?
They don't even know who to root for. See, man, listen, man, let me tell you something, man. All those guys are like my sons, nephews, and everything. What I like, and that's why I'm saying we do need to have this, because there is such great knowledge that spans, and there's a lot of energy. And see, what I think the thing that we, and I'm gonna say as a black man, and I mentor a lot of people, and a lot of these young brothers say, hey, man, it's not that we don't want to know, you just don't want to tell me. So that's the thing. So we got to be able to listen to what they got to say. And come in on this platform, and all these guys got their own platforms, man. There's a lot of things that can be solved. But if we sitting up there, Scott and them doing the show, and they laugh and talk about what we said and we doing, but we bring this together, man. Look, and bring that coach on. You know what I'm saying? Let them young brothers bring them on their shows. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Because here's the thing. And like I said, man, like I told you, I think it's all about fit. Michael Vick, that's a fit for no. But this guy here, this brother here, this guy's a fit for a lot of schools. See, that's the thing about it. So while he might not have the social media fan, I'm going to tell you what he's going to do. He's going to recruit well. He's going to get those kids to graduate. He's going to present well. And I'm going to tell you this one thing about it. You want me to tell you what makes a celebrity head coach? Winning. Because you want me to tell you what Willie Simmons is? He's a celebrity coach because he won. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Eddie Robinson was a celebrity coach because he won. W.C. Gordon was a celebrity coach because he won. T.C. Taylor now is becoming a celebrity coach because he's winning. So I'm gonna tell you one thing.
Hey, y'all using that celebrity coach?
A very, very popular person.
Y'all using that celebrity coach title real loosely right now.
Man, listen, man, that's how y'all do, man.
I know. We shouldn't be using all. We should be coaches that are celebrities, or coach celebrities want to be coaches. But that's a whole nother story.
Hey,
we're gonna get into that right now anyway. Again,
yeah, absolutely. Hey, so coaching. There was an article that Mr. Campbell sent to us where I forget the guy's name, man, who wrote an article, and he graded all the hires, right? And I found his grading very interesting. And actually, Scotty even did a show on it, I believe. And so we, for fun, now this is for fun, so don't make, this is not personal, guys. Okay, let me say this. It's been brought to our attention that a lot of things that we say on this show has been taken personal by coaches and alumni. Again, that's not our intent. It's just our unbiased analysis of what is going on in the SWAC or HBCU football or HBCU sports as a whole. It's not meant to denigrate or insult or belittle anybody. That's not what we mean when we mean to do it. But we have to give an honest evaluation of what we think about what's going on in the SWAC. And there was a statement made about someone winning the best of the worst. We all understand that someone could take that as an insult, but that's not how it was intended. That's not how it was intended. It meant that the West is down and somebody had to win. That's what it meant. Now, Campbell, in your opinion, you the politician on here. If someone says you the best of the worst, why would someone take that personal?
Well, you gotta understand, because it's not a compliment, you know. So here's what I think what we do a very good job at. And again, this is a different flavor. You know what I'm saying? This is a different flavor over here a little bit. You know, smooth. You know, that top shelf. You know, been sitting on the shelf for 100 years.
Hey, McAllen 18, I almost bought
But yeah, that McAllen 18 for $100 a shot. See, this is McAllen 18, 25, you know what I'm saying? So we want people to know when we're telling people, man, this is not about, hey, what your name is or whatever. Like I said, again, that's fine. Again, it works for this. But what we're trying to do, man, first of all, we're trying to highlight the coach. But we have people that want to hear. We have an actual SWAC championship coach that has coached. So he's going to give a coaching perspective. Rocky, you have been around football. You know football. I have been around it. I know football from a perspective that I'm going to say is what it is, just being around it. So what we try to do is say, hey, if we see a guy and we give them a rating, it ain't got nothing to do. Because first of all, let's be honest. We want all these guys to be successful. Because I'm going to say this again. As somebody, and this is just a quick story. I had a friend of mine, we were talking about our particular schedule. And she was talking about, we better not lose a conference game. I love the fact that FAMU people talking about not losing a conference game. Bro, I love that. That means every game matters now. So you know what? I want every game to be a big game. Hey, Valley, I want Valley to be a tough game. I want Jackson State to be a tough, because when they're a tough game, that means it's a better product. It's a better product. So yeah, let's get it, man.
We can hear you, Coach. We can hear you. Can you hear us, Coach? You got to wait for his ear. He got his earpieces in, look like. But no, I want.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do, but I'm gonna tell you this though, Rocky. I think, and this goes to, I'm gonna say this to all the SWAC coaches. Hey man, I'm gonna listen. I watched, and me and Branch talked about this. I watched North Dakota State. I watched South Dakota State. I watched Montana State. I want all of my black coaches to have their teams to execute like those teams. Point blank, period. And don't tell me that you can't do it. Because we've had these coaches on. These coaches are academic All-American. These men are smart. Sam Shade is a smart guy. Okay? Cozy is a smart guy. T.C. Taylor's a smart guy. So I want them to hold their players accountable just like these other schools, because that's the only way we're going to be able to beat them. Because we see what happens is a lot of times we're in the game and then guess what? We get a penalty, we beat ourselves. Because I'm just going to tell you something. Some of that talent is not that far away from us, just to be honest with you. So I want to see the coaches step up. And again, Eddie Robinson broke the record beating a Power 5 school, Rocky. Okay? So it's not like we didn't have coaches. Jake Gaither beat those guys. Rudy Hubbard beat those guys. So this is what we're talking about. Jackson State should have beat USM with Brett Favre. Should have been. It got cheated, basically. Should have beat them.
Yeah. And the thing is, okay, so Coach, one of the things I think is hurts turnover, Coach, is it's hard to instill discipline without continuity. You know what I mean? When you continue to change coaches, you have, because every coach is going to instill his own discipline, his own culture, so to speak. And when you change coaches as frequently as some of these schools are changing coaches, how can you install any discipline?
Let me throw something at you. And I literally had this conversation. This is where the Montanas and the North Dakotas have an advantage, right? When we have great players, we're in a footprint where there's a lot of schools that want those guys. So when we have a great player, there are schools right next door to us, and maybe even like something in the same city, or let's like, hey, you come over here. Look at the kid from UAPB. That kid, Bryce Lance, he's not going to leave North Dakota State. Does he have the same talent as the kid from UAPB? Probably. But those kids are so isolated, and they don't have people knocking on the door. They're consistent. The quarterback from North Dakota State, the quarterback from South Dakota State, Montana, those guys could have left. That kid from North Dakota State said he had offers. But our guys leave. So we have to fight that. So that's why they're able to build these programs, because their guys just don't leave.
Hey, let's do a quick sound check, Coach Cole.
I'm in.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, cool.
Nah, okay, so I wanted to bring this up. So what we did is we graded all the coaching hires at the Division I level that have been made so far. We know we have one that's vacant, right? Valley's the only one that's vacant, and they haven't picked a coach yet, correct?
Yeah, Division I, AA.
Okay, all the others have been, and I'm not sure about the others, but we wanted to grade the ones that have been made so far at the Division I AA level. And these are grades. Everybody check their grade and make sure I send it to y'all. If y'all grade wasn't accurate, don't blame it on me. It's your own fault because I sent it to you beforehand. So these are the grades that we gave hires. We didn't have a specific criteria in which we worked off of, but I know for me, it was fit, it was being able to excite the fan base, being able to recruit, and having some familiarity with what's going on at that school. And so, for me, that's why some of them, in my opinion, I took off points because, there wasn't some familiarity, but there was so much excitement and such a good fit, for some of those jobs. And also, I guess, in some cases, we have to consider experience as well. What are some things you considered, Mr. Cameron? Then we'll go to Coach Cole.
Well, I looked at impact. I looked at previous coaching. I looked at excitement. And I also looked at fit because I think that's really important. Fit for a lot of these guys. And to me, 4 out of the 5 guys, the fit made sense. Deshaun Jackson, I'll say the one that, again, I know Pittsburgh and Philly and all that and stuff like that. But again, it's still Delaware State. I just don't know the fit yet. But Michael Vick fit, Gibbs fit, Sam Shea fit, Tremaine Jackson fit. So that's really what I think that's important because I think you really got to understand the lay of the land of where you're going to be at.
We'll go over the grades individually, but what was your criteria that you looked at when you were grading, Coach?
Well, I looked at the overall picture, the careers, where you've been, what you've done there, and where you're coming from. I looked at fit as well. I looked at what have you done lately? Where have you been? How many schools you've been at? What you've done there? How long you've sat in either a head coach's spot or a coordinator spot? And the success that you've had there. So I looked at the overall because you got to project a head coach. And what I mean by that, you got to project him, or you should project him as this guy can take our program because he's done this, and this. And he has all the tools that can take our program to another level. Not that I'm guessing, not that he don't have anything to show me that this is why I've done this. I don't think nobody gets to be a CEO in business or any other group that you haven't shown that, I've been in this, ocean. I've seen this sea. I've seen this lake. I've been in this pond, so that's how I graded all the choices.
All right, Coach, we're gonna start on the far. I guess if you're looking at the screen, we're gonna start on the far right and then work our way back. Because I think that's easier for us. So first one we looked at was Tremaine Jackson of Prairie View. Coach, you gave A+. I gave an A. And Steve, you also gave an A. I think it's clear for me. To me, Tremaine Jackson was gonna get an A because he's a championship coach. He gonna get an A every time for me. He's a championship coach at the college level, so therefore he's gonna get an A for me. What were some of the things that sealed the deal for you, Mr. Cameron, and then Coach Cole? You can comment as well.
Hey man, he's played at HBCU. He's coached at HBCUs. He's a championship level coach. He's a Q. I put it out because, Lord, they said that 50 million times at the press conference that he's a Q. And the fact that I like that he understands what the mission is and that he didn't say, you know what, we want to be SWAC good. He said, we want to be national championship good. I like that. Now, I'm a Celebration Bowl guy, but that doesn't mean I don't want my team still to be the best team. no matter where we play, what championship we play, be it FCS or the Celebration Bowl. So the fact that he was able to communicate that, the fact that he has a track record, he had his team in the national championship this year. He understands that area in Texas. He knows what the recruiting, what he's up against in the recruiting, but he also knows, and I'm going to keep saying this to my Prairie View people, that school, and people are going to say, Prairie View probably got the most money in the SWAC as far as endowment and what that school brings to the table. And I mean, it's some beautiful women down there. That school should be a powerhouse. Now, I understand Rocky has talked about the perception, but I think Coach Jackson, if he can change the perception of that mid-level player in Texas, which is higher than most level states, hey, man, that could be a championship squad.
Definitely.
Well, I know the young man personally. I had a hand in his upcoming to be where he are. I seen him, how he recruits and go about the game. He showed me what the game means to him. Yeah, he is a championship coach. He's won everywhere he's been. He's an excellent choice. I would have gave him an H for honors or Prairie View, because he is a Houston kid. He's been around. I can't say enough of him. He's a super recruiter. He understands the game, and he has the ingredient that it takes to win at a HBCU. I look for big things out of him if he don't get out of there. And that's why I gave him an A+.
All right. Hey, I think we agree. Okay, Sam Shade. For me, again, championship level coach at the HBCU level and at the high school level, state champion as a high school coach within the last 5 years. Apparently, he has a relationship with all the high school coaches in Alabama, can recruit Alabama. I have no question about Sam Shade with this hire. My only question is, Alabama A&M, are they ready to be a top-notch program? And I have no doubt that Sam Shade can get them there. It's just, are they committed to becoming one? What do you think, Cam?
I am a big Sam Shade fan, and I'm going to say this directly to Scotty, because I'm going to say this. The reason why I got to know Scotty, because he is extremely talented, a speaker. He's able to articulate. But with that being said, that doesn't mean that that's the only thing he does well. I'm going to say this about Sam Shade. While he is not Scotty on the microphone, okay, because Scotty gave him a lot of heat. Oh, Mr. Campbell, he didn't give the energy. That man could coach football. And I'm just going to tell you guys, you go watch a lot of these championship coaches. They are not Deion Sanders. And Deion does all that nice talking, and that ticker ain't never won not one championship. So I like guys that understand Sam Shade is a championship player, first of all. His DNA is championships. He understands the lay of the land in Alabama high school. And to me, that is going to be very important, because what he's going to be able to do is when these kids go off, he's going to be able to track these kids from 9th grade all the way to 12, all the way when they go to college and come back to Alabama to come back home, potentially, if they're in the portal. So just the knowledge. And last but not least, I like that he is a steady guy. He's not too high, not too low. And I think when you're building a program, I think sometimes, because what people want is the pizzazz, but when you're trying to build, Alabama A&M is not a powerhouse program. They're not a blue blood. They need a foundation started. And foundation starts with slow and steady wins the race. So I think he's going to recruit, because I'm already seeing him getting players that's going to be transferring over. But I think that guy right there fits knowledge. And again, he ain't Martin Luther King, but he's Sam Shade. And I think that's going to do well for him in Alabama.
Well, let's start off with the fit. He's probably the most perfect fit of all 5 of these gentlemen at Alabama A&M. Being on the national championship team, born in Alabama, won a state championship in Alabama State, won the SIAC championship game right there in Alabama. He's got the Alabama mentality. He's a super guy. He's in slow motion because he's about discipline. His attitude and his personality is about defense. He really reminds me of a Pete Richardson. And if you guys had the opportunity to either meet Pete or know Pete. You know, Pete coached me in college. He's a no-nonsense guy. He know how to relate to the players. Uh, you know, he's that celebrity guy. He played in the pros. He played for the number one team in the country over the last 50 years of Alabama. I mean, he has it all. I mean, and the fit couldn't have been more perfect to win in Birmingham and then go right up the road to Huntsville to coach in A&M. He's done things the right way. He's got very, very intelligent and older guys on his staff, not a whole team of them. He has some young guys with him. I mean, man, look, I'd have gave this guy H. I think Coach Paul Bryant, just like Prairie View, have knocked it out of the box with these two hires. I guarantee you guys in the next 2 or 3 years, these two guys is going to be battling for a SWAC championship. So I think the fit is great. You can't get a better way. I take one out your box book, Coach Campbell. He is a celebrity. It ain't nowhere in Alabama that somebody gonna know him. Black, white, green, purple. And if you're a Go Tide fan, you're gonna support him. Y'all talking about somebody that can go get some money. Sam Shea can go get some money. You know why? Because Sam Shea been a good guy all his life. Sam Shea got guys that played with him from the University of Alabama that still live in Alabama. They got big money, and he can go get it.
Oh, well, let me ask Mr. Calvin, both of you guys about that, because you guys have been around HBCUs a long time. Have you seen where those relationships on the PWI side of things have parlayed into benefits for institutions? Not necessarily in coaching, but maybe at the professor, president, VP level, some type of fundraising capacity, where those relationships on the PWI side have parlayed an institution into capitalizing on those relationships, causing non-traditional donors to want to support.
Well, I'm going to say this. Larry Robinson was a PWI guy. He raised a hell of a lot of money for FAMU. Hell, I know the Jack State people, they got that new president. He was an IHL guy, but I tell you one thing, he uses his connect to keep the lights on in Jack State. At least they ain't trying to cut what they're trying to do. Hey, man, sometimes, you know, relationships, man, and this is what I'm going to say about Sam Shade again. What Sam Shade is going to be able to do, because, see, some things is not always done up front, Rocky. A lot of things are done in the background. You'll be amazed when he's sitting up there and he might talk to a booster that he's known since he was 18 years old, and that white man might give him $15,000, $20,000, and nobody else knows about it. So I think a lot of times everything doesn't have to be billboard out. I think a lot of times relationships, because there are things that people that do stuff for FAMU, people don't know their names. And I mean, and at that 220 club, people give thousands of dollars, and you don't know who they are, but they know the coach. And they say, Coach, I'm going to get you what you need to get. They're trying to raise $1 million right now. So I think, to Coach Cole's point, is that it's not always the big splash. Hey, we got a big check. It's about making a phone call. Hey, we need this. We need that. And we know who to call. Hey, call this guy. And I think it's the little things that build up.
Well, guys, you know, you guys gotta. Well, again, you know, I'm looking at 40 years. I guarantee you guys, you can count on one hand how HBCU have been donated millions of dollars, $1 million, $900,000, $800,000 by a single person. I don't think it's the head coach's job to be the fundraiser. I think his job is to make sure that he shows up at the fundraisers. He reaches out to the people, and his job is to win football games. I don't believe a head coaching job should be able to raise money. That's what you have people in place for. His job is to make sure that he shows up at those places, speak well, goes out and shake hands. All right. Secondly, there are some guys, Rocky, as you say, will donate money to the program. You know, again, I got to speak from my experience. My brother went to University of Nebraska. You know, he had a close friend. His father, them owned this insurance company called Woodman of the World. And they would donate $30,000. They told, we're going to donate $30,000 a year to Tennessee State as long as you're the head coach. You know, when I became a head coach, I had a couple of people donate me $5, 10, 20 here, you know what I mean, or $10,000 a year. You know what I mean? You have that. but ain't nobody really throwing no, and I don't know what number you were talking about as far as dollar signs. Ain't nobody throwing that
No,
kind.
I was just saying, has anybody been able to parlay those
Yeah,
PWI
Well,
relationships into contributions of some sort?
yeah.
And you know, me and you have talked, Coach Cole, and you said at every one of your stops, you had a money man, not in meaning that you had a guy that was supporting just because of you. He wasn't supporting the university; he was supporting just because of you.
Oh no, ain't no question, and that's really how some of the things are done. When you come into some of these programs, they got money men. You know what I'm saying? They got guys that been donating stuff to the program even before you've gotten there, and you got to make sure that you know who those guys are, and you got to treat them right. I know at some places when they bring a new coach in, and especially if he ain't an HBCU coach, and I've seen this, guys, and I'm not saying this, I've seen him. Oh man, he don't know what he talking about. Oh man, and mistreat him, and he cuts him. And here's what I see. Here's what I've seen, and you guys can attest to this. There's very few people like Campbell that no matter who they bring in, man, I'm donating to Florida A&M. That's who I'm donating. I always tell you, people give money to people they know. They don't give money to buildings. Black folk don't give money to buildings. Black folk give money to who I know or have I touched him. And that's how it's always been. So here's what happens. And you can look at the schools. When schools have turnover, they lose that set of alumni. Oh man, I'm mad they got rid of my guy. I'm not. Again, look at Texas Southern. When Ashbury was there, he had a following. Then they knocked Ashbury out. Mike Haywood had a following, a few followers. And he had no connections with HBCU or Black. Then we hired McKinney. Then they were mad because you hired him. Then they had McKinney. McKinney had a following. Then when McKinney gone, then now here come Chris Dishman. And what Chris Dishman said this year. Man, where y'all at? Man, y'all to come to the games. That ain't how we are as Black folks, man. We gonna follow you. The first and foremost is you gotta win. You gotta win, and you gotta get out and touch those people. And if you don't do that, you lose those money people, and they never get together and gang up. Instead of giving you tools and fruits, then they can get together and give you a big lump sum. But Florida A&M, Grambling, Alabama State, those type of schools, I mean, they always, they got a big annual giving program.
Well, Coach, let's move to the next coach. And this actually surprised me, Coach. Your grade on this guy surprised me. This is Sean Gibbs for North Carolina A&T. And I'll let you go first, Coach, and explain your grade, because I was expecting this guy to get an A+++, and you ended up giving him a C+, Coach. What was your?
I might have should have gave him a B-, and this is why. I think the fit is great. That he knows the law of the land. He knows where the restroom is. All right. I can't give him any about being a coordinator. And that's the thing. And maybe he coordinated at Fort Valley. I'm not sure, but I thought he had a coordinator on his hands. He's got a big task, Coach. Big task. He's going to be playing against PWIs. All right. North Carolina A&T, we've already talked about the financial part. Financially, they not where all the other schools are. So not only is he going to come behind the 8 ball, now he going to come behind that they going to expect him to win. This ain't the SIAC now. You know what I mean? This is some PWIs that he's going to have to beat and get where he's trying to go. This is none towards him. Again, it's about the body of work. His first head job was at Fort Valley. You know what I mean? Now, he has been to some places. And maybe I might was a little too, and I would have went a B-. But that's where the jury at, man. He's been in all these places, but he really never been in the place where he had to steadily beat PWIs week in and week out.
Well, Coach, I go next. Like, you made me question my grade, Coach, because I gave him a B. And ultimately why I gave him a B is because it's an A+ fit. The people want him there. They want him there. But here's where you made me question myself, Coach, is right. He hadn't proven to be able to beat the white guys, which I got to give you that. And, Coach, at the end of the day, he's not a championship coach. Like, that's reality. If we gonna value championship and we gonna put a premium on championship, we have to grade him accordingly. And he's not a championship coach. The best he's finished in the SIAC is second. And hey, I mean, I think a B is a very generous grade that I gave him in retrospect. Now, I didn't even take into account how hard the job is, and that's something that you took into account about how difficult the job is that he's taking. But I think my grade was really generous. I think it was fair, but I could see now why you graded him C+, thinking about comparing him to those other guys in the success they've had. Go ahead, Cam.
Well, this is for me. Because everybody from North Carolina A&T and certain YouTubers were all in FAMU's business, and those OBG fans saying, y'all need to let her do her job. Let her hire this guy. He be better for FAMU. Well, guess what? A&T, y'all got the guy that we should have got. So I'm giving them a B+ because all the people from A&T said, listen to the football player. They like him. Listen to the alumni. They like him. He was a running backs coach, and he had led the MEAC and coaching and all that. So you know what? I'm giving them a B+ because they say he a B+. And we're going to see, because they were doing more talking about what FAMU business about. They're still their business. So what I'm going to give them is that he got the player support. He's got the alumni support. He's got the administration support. He knows he's got to have a running attack. So I'm going to give him that. And the reason why I didn't give him anything higher, because he has not won a championship. And that's the reason why I said he didn't need to come to FAMU, because he was not a championship head coach. He had been on championship staffs. Now,
I'm gonna say this. I hadn't been watching the SWAC and HBCUs very long, 5 years. But I'm gonna say this. His hiring and the support that he got from the alumni and the institution seemed eerily similar to me the way that Dooley was brought in from PV. Eerily similar about how everybody knew this would work. Everybody knows this is going to work. Everybody believes that it's going to work. And it soured up so fast. I hope that Sean Gibbs is able to manage those expectations better than Eric Dooley was.
Let me say this too. You know,
he got a harder job.
Again, it's about the criteria. We're just talking about the outside stuff. You know, Sean Gibbs is definitely a perfect fit for North Carolina A&T. Like I said, he knows the law of the land. The players wanted him. Alumni know who he is. You know, I just went deeper about the coach, about where he's been, about what he can bring, and that's just where I am. And because I've coached in HBCU, in the SIAC, I'm looking at it from different lens. This is nothing towards the coach. Does he have the ability to put them in the right position? Yes, he does. Does he have the ability and the know-how to put together a winning team? Yes. But does he have the know-how to beat PWIs to win a championship? No, he don't, because he's never been in a conference where you got to play PWIs week in and week out.
Now, this is something that Coach, you gave him some credit for, but you couldn't give him all the credit. Kind of explain to me, he was connected to the North Carolina previous winners. How much credit do you give him for that?
Oh, I give him some credit. You know, that he's been in the car. He's been in the car with the driver, but the only problem is he's been in the back seat. And that's why I gave him that. He's learned a lot of football. This C plus, and really it's rated about a 79. Let me say that it's about a 79, Coach. I kind of through my experience in there of playing against PWIs and knowing it's tough. It's tough. You know what I mean? And times have changed now. So yeah. And that's why I thought he would be good for Florida A&M. You know what I mean? Because Florida A&M is a championship program. He's taking over a down program. That's another thing. They kind of level things up with me. I know him. He came from Broadway, Bill Hayes.
Sam Washington.
Sam Washington and these greats. You know what I'm saying? And he's seen how you can win a championship. And when he got in the saddle at Fort Valley, he did turn them, but it wasn't like at Fort Valley he took over a losing program, because Coach Porter before him was pretty good as well, and he was able to sustain there. So I didn't want to go all the way out. I know when I see Sean, man, I tell him to give me a hug. Prove to me that you can come in there and get it done. You know what I mean? It's just a different type of football from the SIAC, from the old NCAT to when they used to play in the MEAC than it is now. But I think it was a perfect fit. I think he's ready for the job. I think he'll do a great job, man. And of course, they got to be patient because Sean likes to run the football.
Hey, Rocky, let me add one thing. And he also knows how important it is to beat North Carolina Central. Like Mr. Brown, who said,
it was just a game.
It's just a game. So he knows to tell those Aggies the right thing, because Josh and them, like I said, them folks from Central, boy, it's getting kind of out. Look, they spreading their wings a little bit. They ain't, sound like, hold on, Central. No, wait a minute, y'all ain't no blue blood. Y'all talking blue blood type now.
They put 66 on.
That's what I'm saying. They getting a little bit out, getting out there. Shout out to Josh and them boys from Central.
Now let me say this. This next grade the coach gave him, I wasn't surprised. I felt this coming. Right? And this is Deshaun Jackson for Delaware State. I'll just say mine quick. I gave him a B just on excitement alone. I realized he doesn't have any coaching experience. I realized that he may, and Coach brought this out and it resonated with me. Coach, in a conversation, Coach said, it sounds like there may be some maturity issues with him as well as inexperience. And I get what Coach is saying. I couldn't quite articulate it the way the coach articulated, and I thought that was a great assessment. Like there may be some immaturity along with inexperience, and that could be a recipe for disaster. But again, based on excitement alone, how he's already on the floor running, recruiting already, I gave him a B. Camel, you give him your rationale, and then Coach.
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you something. When we first shot this, and we talked about this, I was going to give him a D. But let me tell you something. I was out in LA for a week, and I'm talking about folks that know the lay of the land out in LA. The barbers, the barbers know everybody. And my barber cuts in that Crenshaw area where D-Jack grew up. And let me tell you something, man. That guy, because he left Crenshaw and went out to Long Beach Park. When I say, and my barber told me out there in LA that he knows everybody out there and that those coaches are rallying around him to help him find players and things like that, I was pretty impressed. And I'm telling you, for somebody that has been out in LA for 30 years, my guy. So, and everybody knows I was out in LA. And I really asked a lot of questions about that and the energy that he's bringing, that the kids are saying, hey, you know what? We want to get out of LA. And I'm going to tell you something, Coach. You got to understand something. He got some affiliations, so you better watch yourself now, because he might have some people roll up on you now. He got some affiliations. So you got to be careful with D-Jack. But on a serious note, I think the fact that you already seeing some of the names of players, again, and we know these are not star players, but just the fact, hell, Delaware wasn't getting them last year. So just the fact that he's getting some type of energy, and from what I'm hearing out in California, that there are a lot of guys that on a local high school level that are talking about sending players his way that fit, Delaware State, of course, you know what I mean? That is a fit. So man, I had to go on and give him a B-, man. Once I got the lay of the land out there in LA.
Mm. Well, I gave him a D- because I guess he is what would be a celebrity, but no coaching experience, no coordinating experience, no defensive coordinating experience, never been anywhere, having never been to a HBCU school. West Coast blacks are different than South blacks. I've recruited every junior college in California, and I mean it, and I'm not just exaggerating, from the top to the bottom. And I brought over 20 some guys to Alabama State, but not all of them was from the West Coast. The West Coast are different kind of players. They are finesse players. They're not like the MEAC. They're not solid, tough guys like the MEAC. I see Deshaun Jackson. I've seen some of his press conferences, and I'm not sold. I don't know if an HBCU guy like me would want to send my son to a head coach that got dreads down his back. And again, guys, this is not nothing prejudicial. I'm just because I want to send my son to a man that in my lifetime or in any kids or any person, name me 5 guys that's been influential in your life that makes your hair is so important that you got to keep it tweeted and braided. And I know that's minute, but I'm just saying that ain't us at HBCUs. That ain't our halo. Is this the new thing coming? Hey, I'll be the first to say, okay, but I'm not falling for it. I think it's fool's gold. I think he's got a lot to learn about young people and how to handle young people. He had no training in that as well. People think that when they see a professional player, that automatic everything the professional player says, it goes. That's what people say that never been in the trenches. These young men that he's gonna be dealing with is they gonna try him. They're gonna try him. They're gonna put him on edge. What you gonna do, Rocky? What you gonna do, Campbell, when your number one sales guy come in and he done something wrong and getting things done? What you gonna do? You gonna cut him because you think he's cancer? He's gonna go into your building and start saying negative stuff about you, or you gonna keep him? You got to know when to save a kid and when not to save a kid. I'll ask both of y'all, when do you think that you should save a kid and not save a kid? Rocky?
Coach, I think at some point, if a kid has any inclination to listen to you and be led, then you can save him. If he insists on doing things his own way outside the framework of the program, you got to let him go.
Rocky, Coach Bishop, what about you?
Let me tell you what I tell my children. It's not the first mistake that gets you in trouble. It's the second mistake that kills you. So if he's a kid that made a mistake and understands that, hey, I can't make that second mistake because coach is going to put me on the right path, that's the guy. But when you make that second mistake, then I know you're not listening or you don't care, which is bad either way.
Right.
Because we all are going to make that first mistake. That's the reason why I tell my children, hey, it don't matter what you do. I'm not going to argue with you. Just don't make the second mistake. Don't try to figure it out. No, you call me right now because you try to figure it's going to mess it up even more. So that's the thing about it. So no, I think that with Deshaun Jackson, and again, and I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm saying this with a hard change, is that as Zoe put it out there, and man, I was out there in LA, man, and some people coming with him. And I think he's gonna bring a high school coach with him that I think has a lot of experience from what I heard that's gonna be able to help him. And I'm not saying, but listen to this, man. Delaware State was 1-11 last year. They were 1-11, coach. They were 1-11. If he wins 2, he's 100% increase. And the fact that we're having a conversation about him right now, to me, already gives him an advantage of whoever else they were going to hire, other than our coach that we had on earlier, who probably would have been even a better fit. But like I say, I'm just what I'm hearing and the excitement out there, man. Like I say, it blew my mind. I was with you, Coach. I thought it was a D hire. I was with you. But after what I was out there in LA, and I was going to have my guy to call in because he was going to break it down from the gang affiliation all the way to the football affiliation of how many support that kid got. So I'm just going to keep it real with you, Coach. He got some support.
Coach, I've done my homework too. And here's the deal. It's hard being a head coach, guys. It's not easy. I remember plenty of nights I've sat up in my office and been trying to decide on a kid's life or in a decision. But once there's no respect in the relationship, you got to turn him loose. Why do you turn him loose? You got to turn him loose because just like the coach said earlier, he becomes cancer in your program. And that way you can't put winning or trying to win over the team. The team is bigger than everybody. And so when we bring these guys in and we make them bigger than the team and bigger than the university, that causes a problem and a fiction right there. And a lot of times when people come into our conference, and it's some HBCU guys who would back me, they don't have no respect for our conference. They don't have no respect for our schools. So they come in with this attitude of let me do something different. You never should come in and break down a company. You should build on it, and you should make it feel comfortable. I don't know if he's gotten that experience or not. You know what I mean? So that's why I just I got it a D-. If you think Coach Bishop that they went 1-11 or 1-10, and if he go 2-9,
no, that was nothing more joke. But I tell you what, Coach, let me ask you this question. If he could get that, because first of all, it's Delaware. See, okay, let me be clear. It's Delaware State. I don't care who goes to Delaware State. It's still Delaware State, okay? But if he can get those guys respectable, and again, if he can, like I say, get them, and not next year, year 3, get them to 6 wins, hey, man, I think he's done something. Because he's never going to win the MEAC. I'll put that on record. He will never win the MEAC, ever.
Well, Coach, that's the other thing. Let me get to that. He great coach against Trey Oliver, Chennis Bear, you know what I'm saying? Coach Morgan up there, Delaware State. Then they play some PWI schools around there like Townsend. You know what I mean? Coach, that's gonna be tough for a guy that's never blew the whistle before. It's gonna be tough. And you talking about bringing uplifting all these West Coast guys and bringing them all the way over to the East Coast, man. Good luck with that.
Coach, let me ask you this, Coach, and me and Rocky talked about this, and I talked to Branch about this. But Coach, it's not that he's gonna. Okay, let's be clear. He's not gonna have.
Hey, my name is Danny Wilson, and I won $500 on the lunch break with AJ Jones.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.